Hi, hello, welcome to Spell Day. We're covering a spell every single day of the year from the 5e PHB plus 3. Those plus 3 spells are homebrew spells. We're at plus 1 at the moment. You can head back in playlist to find it. Today's spell is Mirror Image.
You ever looked in the mirror and thought, huh, Christ! Ah, what is that?
Second level illusion, casting time of 1 action, range of self, composed verbal somatic, duration 1 minute. 3 illusory duplicates of yourself appear in your space. Until the spell ends, the duplicates move with you and mimic your actions, shifting position so it's impossible to track which image is real. You can use your action to dismiss the illusionary duplicates. Each time a creature targets you with an attack during the spell's duration, roll a d20 to determine whether the attack instead targets one of your duplicates. If you have 3 duplicates, you must roll a 6 or higher to change the attack's target to a duplicate. With 2 duplicates, you must roll an 8 or higher. With 1 duplicate, you must roll an 11 or higher. A duplicate's AC equals 10 plus your dexterity modifier. If an attack hits a duplicate, the duplicate is destroyed. A duplicate can be destroyed only by an attack that hits it. Ignores all other damage and effects. The spell ends when all 3 duplicates are destroyed. A creature is unaffected by this spell if it can't see, if it relies on senses other than sight, such as blind sight, or if it can perceive illusions as false, as with true sight. I mean, it's a good defensive spell. It's blur in a different sense. So the spell blur ends up giving disadvantage to creatures trying to spot you because you're this consistent, like, blurry image and they can't tell exactly where your frame is. A lot like Eldar defenses. But now with Mirror Image, it's slightly different, and it's more as if having different versions of you all kind of standing within the same place, changing who's stepping where as it's shifting past you. And, how to put it? It's like the cup game. You know, you put a ball in one of the cups, then you shift them around, and you have to have someone pick which ones the ball is under. That's essentially what the initial roll is whether they guess the right illusion. Or, not the illusion, the right image, to see if it's actually you. And a good thing is, even if it is hit, as in, like, you roll the dice and it hits an illusion, the illusion still has AC. It's not the best, it's only 10 plus dex, but it's alright, especially at lower levels when you'll get access to the spell only at second. Things might still miss, though this does have a distinct issue with that compared to Blur. So for this first, every time an attack hits you, it's dependent upon the number of illusions on whether they hit or not, and the odds are actually quite decent. You're rolling for this, and it's a 6, 8, and 11. Those aren't that bad. Rolling above a 6, great percentage chance. Rolling above an 8, decent chance. Rolling 11, that's less than 50%, but still only 45. And then there's also the chance they don't hit the illusion. Though again, that's only a 13 AC, so... Though, okay, one more benefit and then we'll get on to where Blur outclasses it. This is not concentration, and it lasts for a minute, which, at worst, if a creature hits it all the time, it depends if multi-attacks. This could go out in a round if you're getting hit from multiple sources, or it can last an entire fight, and you just happen to only lose a few illusions. It's not a high chance, but it's a chance. Because that's the best benefit. It's less the AC of the illusion itself, and it's more you're just rolling a dice to see whether a creature hits you or not. The big issue, though, with that is, and where this begins to fail, it's whether they target you with an attack. Not whether an attack hits, just whether they target you with one. So let's say they roll like a 14. Your AC is 15, thanks to mage armor or something. However, you roll, hits an illusion, the illusion's AC is 13, that attack that would have already missed you now pops an illusion. That wasn't worth it. Because it's not a choice whether to use an illusion or not. It's just as a part of the spell every time an attack targets you. Whereas then you compare into Blur, well, I'm not going to talk about Blur. We already talked about Blur. But in the end, it's... If you're going against a single target, and they're likely gonna hit you in any case, so they have like a plus 10 or something, and it's just one-on-one, or not one-on-one, but like let's say it's one big, like, I don't know, fiend or knight or something, and then there's 4 of you in the party. You're not always going to be targeted, and then also with Mirror Image, if there's not like mob enemies around, when they try to strike you, they're likely gonna go through your AC anyway. So it's not that bad to then roll a dice 3 times to have them potentially miss. Just entirely. They could have gotten a crit as well and wasted it. The action economy, though, whenever any sort of inflation in the action economy, the potential of Mirror Image just plummets. To the point that even a second level spell is debatable. I mean, late game where you have tons of spell slots to spare, yeah, it's not the worst. But in horde groups and at large enemy numbers, like let's say you're going against a horde of goblins or something, even though they're not rolling the best, they can likely still hit above a 13 on occasion, and they'll just eat through your illusions before the troll comes to hit you, or whatever, like the hobgoblin, or whatever the leader of this group is, or the big bad evil guy. That's where Mirror Image falls apart. 4 out of 10, because its actual effectiveness is a bit situational. The fact it's not concentration is a great boon, and it's low level. But as enemies with multi-attack and large hordes of enemies, they just eat through it. And sometimes it can just be entirely wasted, or it just doesn't come up. Compared to other spells around the same level, or other bits of defensive magic, it's not the best.